Hi there. Thank you so much for stopping by Elderly Life World, a place where we gently explore how to live longer, live healthier, and live more meaningfully in this beautiful chapter of life. I'm a health professional who's had the honor of working with thousands of people over 50. And I've come to believe this. Growing older isn't the end of the road. It's an entirely new chapter, full of potential, full of depth, if we learn to listen to ourselves. Now, I want you to imagine something with me. You're sitting in your favorite garden in the soft light of the afternoon. There's a warm cup of tea in your hand. You're 70, maybe more. And in that quiet moment, you ask yourself, how much time do I really have left? Not out of fear, but out of reflection. Out of a desire to live with more awareness, more presence. Over the years, I've heard so many of my patients say, I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of not being healthy enough to enjoy the time I have left. And I understand that. Living longer is a gift. But living long without health, without independence, without joy, that's the real challenge. The good news is, your body isn't staying silent. It's already sending you signs, subtle, yes, but incredibly important, about how you're doing today and how well you might age tomorrow. In today's video, I'll walk you through 8 science-backed signs that can help you better understand your body. Not to predict the number of years you have left, but to take charge, to make adjustments, to heal, and to live the rest of your life the way you truly deserve. So, are you ready to sit with me and gently listen to what your body might be trying to say? Because sometimes, paying attention just a little bit earlier can give you not only more years, but better years. Years that are freer, more beautiful, and full of life. Sign number 1. Your walking speed. Have you ever noticed yourself slowing down when you walk? I'm not talking about the peaceful kind of slow, the kind where you're strolling through the morning sun, enjoying every breath. I'm talking about slowing down because you're tired, because your legs feel heavy, because you have to stop halfway just to catch your breath. I once had a patient named Joe, 75 years old, living in the suburbs. Every morning he'd take a walk around his neighborhood. He stood tall. His steps were steady. His neighbors would joke, Joe walks faster than I do, and I'm barely in my 60s. But then there was Frank. Same age, different story. Frank moved slowly, holding on to railings any time he had to go up a step. He told me, well, I guess this is what getting old looks like. But you know what? It wasn't just age. It was his health. Quietly, slowly, declining from the inside. Science now confirms this. Your walking speed after 70 is directly linked to how long you'll live. People who walk with a steady pace often have stronger hearts, better muscles, and sharper minds. Slowing down too much? That could be an early sign of muscle loss, poor circulation, or even neurological decline. So here's something simple you can do. Next time you go out, pay attention to your walk. Do you stop more often than you used to? Do you feel winded after short distances? Do crosswalks feel longer than they used to? If so, don't panic. But don't ignore it either. Because this is your moment to take action. You don't need to run marathons. You just need to start. With a few small steps each day. Begin with your driveway. Then a loop around the park, then maybe a few stairs, without holding on. I've always believed this. The strength in your legs is the map that leads you to a free and independent old age. So take care of your steps. Don't let aging pin you to the chair, when your very steps might be the thing that keeps you moving, keeps you strong, and maybe, just maybe, keeps you here longer. Sign number 2, grip strength. and what it says about your longevity, I want you to try something. Reach out and shake someone's hand, maybe a loved one, maybe an old friend you haven't seen in a while. Can you feel the strength in your grip? Or have you noticed that your handshake isn't quite what it used to be? Maybe jar lids feel harder to open these days. Grocery bags seem heavier. And sometimes holding on to things, like a coffee mug or the handle of a door, takes more effort than before. A handshake isn't just a social gesture. It's your body's way of saying, I'm still strong, I'm still in control. And believe it or not, science has shown that grip strength is one of the strongest predictors of longevity in older adults. I remember a patient, Mr. Robert, 78. He walked every morning, lifted light weights in the afternoon, and always had this firm, confident handshake. One day during a checkup, I shook his hand and laughed. I think your grip is stronger than mine. Then there was Walter, also 78. He used to be active, loved gardening, but lately he's been struggling, opening jars, zipping up his coat, even holding a bowl of soup without feeling like he might drop it. He just shrugged and said, I guess I'm getting old. But I knew better. That weakening grip was an early warning, a sign that his body, little by little, was starting to lose its strength. Because your hands, they're not just tools. They're how you connect with the world, holding your grandchild's hand, lifting a cup of tea, or steadying yourself in the kitchen. The good news is, you can get that strength back. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership, just a tennis ball, a small pair of hand weights, or even choosing to open that tight jar lid yourself instead of asking someone else. A few minutes of practice each day is enough to send a powerful message to your body. I'm still in charge. So let me ask you, when was the last time you gave someone a good, firm handshake? Have you felt, maybe even quietly, that you're starting to let go, not just of physical things, but of confidence itself? If so, don't worry, because starting again doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes all it takes is one strong squeeze and one small decision not to give up on yourself. Sign number 3, a positive attitude, the energy that comes from within. I once asked an 82-year-old woman, do you have a secret for staying joyful every day? She smiled gently and said, I never let sadness stay overnight, and I make sure to smile, even if the morning sky is gray. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But behind that smile is a powerful choice. The choice to stay positive, even as life changes, health shifts, and age keeps moving forward. Science has a word for it: resilience. But I like to call it something more familiar: a positive attitude. No one gets through aging without feeling tired, breathless, or experiencing loss. But what makes the biggest difference isn't what happens to us. It's how we choose to respond. In fact, countless studies have shown people who maintain a positive attitude, who hold on to hope, find joy in small things, and don't get lost in negative thinking, tend to live longer, have fewer chronic illnesses, and age more gracefully, especially in the brain. I remember a former patient of mine, Mr. John. He'd been through a lot, lost his wife, had 2 heart surgeries, and now lived alone in a small apartment. But every time I asked him, how are you doing these days? He'd smile and say, the sun still comes up every morning, and I still get to enjoy my hot cup of coffee. That's enough for me. And then there was Richard, the same age. He constantly worried about money, about his health, about all the what-ifs of tomorrow. Every visit started with a sigh. Over time, those heavy thoughts began to wear him down. His sleep worsened, his blood pressure rose, and his health slowly declined. Have you ever felt like that? Woken up with a heavy heart, even when the world outside was calm and bright? Have you noticed how your mood affects everything? How well you eat? How deeply you sleep? Whether or not you still laugh? If so, I want you to remember something. A positive mindset doesn't just happen. It's something you can practice. Start with gratitude. Say one thing you're thankful for each morning. Focus on what's good, not what's missing. Allow yourself to feel sadness, but don't stay stuck there. And most of all, stay connected. Sometimes a phone call or a simple conversation is enough to pull you out of the spiral of negative thoughts. A positive attitude won't change how many years you have left, but it will absolutely change how fully you live every one of those years. With more light, more energy, and more reason to wake up and smile, even on cloudy mornings. Sign number 4, balance. When your legs speak for your health. I'd like you to stand up for a moment. Just a small step. Stand tall, lift one foot gently off the ground, and try to hold it for 10 seconds. Can you do it? It might sound like a simple little challenge, but it's not just a game. It's actually one of the most powerful tests modern medicine uses to predict longevity in older adults. You see, balance isn't just about your legs. It's the result of multiple systems working together. Your nervous system, your muscles, your eyes, and your brain. And when even one of those systems starts to weaken, your body begins to send signals. And one of the first is this. You begin to wobble. I've seen it clearly in 2 of my patients, Carol and Nancy, both in their 70s, both smart, vibrant women. Carol walks every day, does gentle yoga, and even challenges herself by balancing on one foot while brushing her teeth. She once joked, "I don't know how long I'll live, but I do know I'm not falling while pouring tea." Nancy, on the other hand, used to say, "I'm too old to worry about balance." That was until she slipped in her kitchen and ended up in the hospital for nearly a month. And sadly, that fall didn't just break a bone. It broke her confidence, her independence, and slowly, her joy. Have you ever had to grab a wall just to turn around safely? Do stairs make you nervous, like you might lose your footing? If so, that's your body speaking. And now is the time to start listening. The good news? Balance can be rebuilt. Just a few minutes a day is enough. Stand on one leg while washing dishes or waiting for the kettle to boil. Try walking heel to toe like you're on a balance beam. Or do a few slow Tai Chi movements. Calm, controlled, and mindful. When you can stay steady with each step, you're doing more than just preventing a fall. You're holding your life steady, too. Because falling doesn't just hurt your body. It holds you back, makes you hesitant, and sometimes it makes you forget how strong you used to be. So start with one foot, 1 second of stillness, because sometimes the way you stand is a reflection of the way you live. Sign number 5, appetite. When mealtime no longer feels like joy. Let me ask you something. Do you still feel excited when it's time to eat? Can you remember the last time you sat down, looked at your plate, and thought, "Wow, that smells amazing. I'm really hungry." I once met a woman named Margaret, 74 years old, living alone since her kids moved out. She told me, "I still eat every day. I cook for myself. But honestly, it just doesn't taste the same anymore." At first, I thought, maybe that's just aging. Taste buds change, right? But the more I listened, the more I realized a loss of appetite isn't just about food. It's often a reflection of your physical health and your emotional well-being, too. Your body is a beautiful, complex machine. It needs fuel, energy, nutrients, and even joy to keep running. But when you lose your hunger, eat less without noticing, or start losing weight without meaning to, that could be a warning sign. It might mean your digestion isn't working properly, or your hormones are off, or it could even be an early sign of frailty or cognitive decline. Another woman I met, Susan, was the same age as Margaret. But unlike Margaret, Susan had slowly started skipping meals. Some days, she only ate crackers and tea. She didn't think it was a big deal until she started feeling dizzy, forgetting things, and struggling with balance. And it all began with meals that no longer mattered. Have you ever felt like eating was just something to check off the list? Have you opened the fridge, looked around, and closed it again? Because nothing looked good? If so, don't dismiss it. Because food isn't just fuel. It's comfort. It's medicine. Without a prescription. It's one of the last beautiful ways we stay connected to life. And the good news is that appetite, that enjoyment, can come back. Try cooking a dish you loved when you were younger. Invite someone to eat with you, because eating alone is routine, but eating with others? That's connection. Choose real food, colorful, fresh, full of flavor, because your body still deserves the best. I often tell my patients, don't wait until you're starving to eat. Eat as a way of loving yourself. And you know what? When you start bringing joy back into your meals, you're quietly laying the bricks for a stronger, healthier, more vibrant life in the years ahead. Sign number 6, sleep, the quiet symphony of health. After 70. Have you ever laid in bed, eyes closed, but your mind just won't stop spinning? Sleep, something that used to come so easily, starts to slip away after 70. It becomes like a stubborn child, sometimes arriving late, sometimes walking out in the middle of the night, leaving you alone with your thoughts in the dark. I once asked a longtime patient of mine, "How have you been sleeping lately?" She gave a gentle, tired smile and said, "I lie down early, but sleep doesn't stay long." For the body after 70, sleep is no longer just rest, and it's the deepest form of recovery. A time when the heart gets to relax, the brain gets cleaned, and the immune system quietly rebuilds. Science confirms it. Older adults who sleep well, with deep, consistent, natural rest, tend to live longer, think more clearly, and avoid many chronic illnesses. But the opposite is also true. When sleep becomes shallow, broken, or restless, it can be a sign of chronic stress, hormonal imbalances, or even undiagnosed conditions like sleep apnea. And as we age, the body doesn't bounce back from poor sleep the way it used to. Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. and had no idea why? Have you tossed and turned for hours while your mind runs marathons in the silence of the night? I once treated a man named Graham, 74 years old. He was always tired, but could never seem to fall into deep sleep. Together, we made a few gentle changes. He turned off the TV earlier, stopped drinking water after 7 p.m., and took just 5 quiet minutes to breathe deeply before bed. Within a few weeks, Graham told me, "I feel like I've come back to life." Because sleep is not luck. It's a skill. And more than that, it's a gift. A gift you can learn to give back to yourself. So tonight, before you turn out the lights, ask yourself this: am I truly giving my body the rest it needs? Am I tending to my sleep the way I would tend to a quiet garden, with patience, with care, and with love? Because here's the truth. A deep sleep tonight is a promise of strength for tomorrow. Sign number 7. Managing stress. When a peaceful mind leads to a healthier body. Have you ever laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, and felt something inside you just wouldn't settle down? Sometimes it's not a clear fear. It's not even about anything specific. It's just this quiet, lingering unease, like a thin cloud that won't go away. When we're younger, we often think of stress as something tied to work, money, or raising children. But in older age, stress shows up differently. It's quieter. It comes from within. It might come from the changes in your body, from the silent loneliness of afternoons with no one to talk to, from that hidden fear. Will I still be in control of my life tomorrow? I once had 2 patients, John and Richard, both the same age. John had been through a lot: heart surgery, losing his spouse, early retirement. But every time I saw him, he'd simply say, "Things will work out." He didn't deny his struggles, but he didn't let them take over either. He practiced deep breathing each morning, chatted with strangers at the park, and kept a small notebook where he wrote down something good about each day. Richard was different. He worried constantly about the news, the weather, things he couldn't change. Over the years, he began to sleep poorly. His blood pressure crept up, and his health slowly declined. Not because of disease, but because his mind was never at rest. Have you ever felt trapped in your own thoughts? A loop with no end? Have you ever worried so much about the future that you stopped enjoying the moment you're in? If so, I want to tell you this. Stress is real. But you can learn how to soften it. You can learn how to breathe through it, how to quiet it. Modern science now confirms people who manage stress well, with meditation, with deep breathing, with human connection, tend to live longer, have healthier hearts, and keep their memories sharp well into old age. And no, you don't need to meditate for hours. Just take 3 minutes each morning to breathe in deeply and breathe out slowly. Talk to a friend. Laugh, even once. Let go of what you can't control and bring your focus back to what you can do, here and now. A peaceful heart doesn't just help you stay healthy. It helps you live fully. When your mind is calm, your body starts to heal. When your heart is quiet, sleep comes easier. And when you smile, your immune system smiles with you. Sign number 8. Social connection. The healing power of being seen and heard. I want you to pause for a moment and think about someone you haven't called in weeks, maybe even months. Someone you used to share tea with. Someone you once walked with, laughed with, and now they're just a quiet name in your memory. Have you ever found yourself hesitating to reach out, telling yourself, they're probably busy, or maybe deeper inside, maybe they've forgotten about me too? As we grow older, we tend to withdraw, not because we want to, but because we begin to believe we no longer matter. And that quiet withdrawal is one of the most dangerous things. Science is clear. Older adults who maintain strong social connections, even with just a few close people, live longer, have better mental health, and are less likely to suffer from depression, Alzheimer's, or heart disease. I once treated a woman named Eleanor, 78 years old. Each week, she joined a local book club, went grocery shopping with a friend, and made regular phone calls to her kids and grandkids. She told me, "Just hearing a familiar voice makes me feel a little younger." Then there was Barbara, same age but very different. She lived alone, hesitant to go out, afraid of being a bother. Little by little, she lost interest in her routines, started sleeping more, eating less, and slowly felt invisible. Have you ever felt that way? sitting in a quiet afternoon breeze but feeling like you're slowly fading from the world? If so, I want you to know something. You have never been invisible. Sometimes, all it takes is one small connection, a phone call, a message, a walk, to let the light back in. Connection doesn't have to mean big gatherings. It might just be a simple phone call. Hey, it's been a while. A quiet invite. Would you like to walk with me this week? Or sending an old photo saying, remember this moment? Because the truth is, we live longer not just because our hearts keep beating, but because someone still listens. The relationships you nurture today will become the warm blanket around your soul in the years to come. So don't wait. Call someone. Invite someone. Write a letter. Because when you do, you're not just giving love to someone else, you're adding years and meaning to your own life. And that was the final sign in our journey to understanding longevity after 70. A journey that doesn't begin with pills or machines, but with awareness, small habits, and human connection. Now you know 8 small signs, quiet and easy to overlook, can actually tell a powerful story about your health, your future, and how long and well you might live. From the way you walk, to how you sleep, how you eat, and even how you stay connected to others. These are signals. Soft, subtle, but deeply important. And here's the beautiful part. Most of these signs can be improved. Starting today, right from where you are. No one is ever too old to make a change, and no day is ever too late to begin again, with intention, with love, and with hope. So I invite you, choose just one thing from today's video, just one, and quietly promise yourself, I will take care of this part of me, because I deserve it. Because you truly do. If this video touched you in any way, please leave a comment below. Tell me which sign made you stop and reflect. Or simply write the words, still in time, so I know you're here, and you still believe in a hopeful, meaningful aging journey. If you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Here at Elderly Life World, we don't just talk about longevity. We talk about gratitude, connection, and the quiet beauty of aging with presence. And if you know someone who's turning 70 soon, or someone feeling a bit lost in the later chapters of life, please share this video with them. Maybe you will be the one to bring a little light back into their path. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for not giving up on yourself. We'll meet again in another video very soon. But for now, stand up, stretch, take a deep breath, and begin one small thing for your journey of living longer, living stronger, and living fully. See you soon. Wishing you a soft and peaceful day ahead. Because longevity isn't about counting years, it's about fully feeling the moments we still have, with presence, with gratitude, and with love.